Karen Tumulty, who used to write for Time magazine for years, I had to put a column in the Washington Post today because of this Trump bastard who really lost his shit because this young girl, this 16-year-old girl with Asperger's, was named Person of the Year by Time magazine. So, doing what Trump normally does, he took to Twitter early this morning, where his current follower count is over 67 million, to attack this girl. And in his tweet storm, he told her to, quote, work on her anger management problem, end quote. You know, I've said this before. There are some things that Trump does that causes me to react with anger, but with an intensity I didn't know I had. You really think as a person gets older and older and older, they kind of make accommodations with their emotions. People come to realize that extreme emotions at a certain age are kind of stupid. And I thought I had gotten to that point until this subhuman took office with the help of his Russian handlers. But the thing about Greta Thunberg is right out there on the limit of what I can stand. So let me try to get through this. Now, as Karen Tumulty writes, as always with Trump, when he accuses someone else of something, it gives us a peek into what he himself is feeling. So it's fair to ask, what did this young Swedish girl, a climate activist, Greta Thunberg, what did she do to make this sick bastard Trump so angry? Well, it's very simple. She was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. That's what. See, Trump figures that's supposed to be his. Time covers are something of a fixation for this gonif in the White House. As Karen writes, back when he was a reality TV star, he decorated the walls of at least 5 of his golf clubs with fake Time magazine covers featuring his face. And he accuses news media of being fake. This is one sick son of a bitch. You know, aside from the criminal acts that he commits at will, he really is sick. He really is. I don't know if he's sick enough to be incarcerated someplace or be institutionalized someplace, but he certainly is sick enough to be on some kind of medication or under constant therapy or monitoring or something. Because this is not the way a normal 73-year-old person is supposed to act unless there's something seriously wrong with them. And in Trump's case, I don't think there's any doubt. His whole family is fucked up. All of his adult children. I don't know that much about Tiffany because she's not cute enough for, in Donald Trump's mind, for her to make public appearances. He likes to keep her hidden. But the other 3 adult children of his are just totally fucked with no sense of empathy or sympathy, and they get that from their old man. But anyway, as Karen writes, you might remember that it was just 8 days ago that the White House erupted in howls of outrage. And all these little shithead Republicans, when an academic testifying before the House Committee, Intelligence Committee's impeachment hearings, made a pun, not an insult, a pun that involved the name of Trump's own adolescent son. First Lady Melania Trump, who, as it happens, has also adopted anti-bullying as her cause, declared that the academic who said that, Stanford law professor Pamela Karlan, quote, should be ashamed of yourself, of your very angry and obviously biased public pandering and using a child to do it. Professor Karlan subsequently apologized. No word yet as to how this latest setback, this scummy thing her husband said, to Melania's hashtag #BeBest movement is going over with the First Lady. We may learn from what she wears over her clothing on her next public outing that, well, she really doesn't care. Do you? This is not the first time that this scummy bastard in the White House has mocked Greta Thunberg for her demeanor. People with Asperger's, sometimes described as a mild form of autism, often don't respond to social cues or express their emotions the way other people do. And when Thunberg was being acclaimed internationally back in September for a passionate speech she gave about how her generation will feel the ravages of climate change, Trump tweeted sarcastically, quote, she seems like a very happy young girl looking forward to a bright and wonderful future. So nice to see. Jesus Christ. Karen writes, but the real question, as is so often the case where Trump is concerned, is why would the most powerful man in the world stoop to doing the things he does? One answer, at least judging by the reactions to his tweet on Thursday, is that his always loyal base of mindfuckers applauds him. Karen didn't write that. When he indulges his scummy base impulses. Ha ha, one of his supporters responded. Trump is awesome. You have to love his sense of humor. And as Karen writes, that may be the most depressing thing of all about this cretin. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's just astonishing. We've all met people with fragile egos that if you're not constantly praising them, they turn into real bastards, right? I'm sure you've had friends, people you thought were friends, people you knew, that required constant ego stroking, constant praise, constantly being told that they were just so special, so wonderful, to the point that if you stopped doing it, if you stopped praising and stroking and telling them how wonderful they were, they lost interest in you, and your relationship with that person dissolved, which was probably good for you. But Trump personifies the worst of that, the weakest of that, the most pathological of that, whatever the syndrome is, that need to be constantly told, oh, what a good boy you are. And that's what he wants to hear. He don't want to hear good man. He wants us to hear, oh, what a good boy you are. Oh, Donnie, you're just a good boy. Probably something his parents were incapable of delivering to him. I think his parents, I tweeted something today, something his mother said years ago about Trump, about how she kind of warned the world that he better never go into politics because he was so fucked up. But for some reason, the parents just never provided Donnie little Donnie, when he was a young boy, with anything even remotely, and you don't have to be a therapist to figure this out, with anything even remotely associated with building up someone's self-esteem. When a person has this incredibly low self-esteem, that's usually when you find the most raging egocentric personality. because they've never been told, hey, you did a good job. Hey, that's pretty cool. Hey, nice work. Hey, way to go. Hey, we're really proud of you. Trump never got that, obviously. And so now he is a 6-year-old whiny ass stuck inside the body of a 73-year-old failure. And his bullshit never stops. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.